Hello, my name is Jessica Goodsell. I'm the head instructor at Soaring Kung Fu, a mobile adaptive Kung Fu academy that brings the fitness to you. I'm going to walk you through a short Kung Fu fitness video today. Before we get started, we want to do our Qigong breathing. We start every workout like this so that we can kind of tune out the worries and stress of the day and focus on the workout that we're about to do. So I want you to have your feet shoulder width apart, arms up like you're holding two pizzas, eyes are closed, and then breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. In, out. In, out. In, out. In last time and hold it. Hands come to the center, go down and exhale. Alright. First exercise we're going to do, we're going to reach up. Standing up on the balls of your feet, if your balance allows, we're going to pulse with each count. Now the way that we count at Soaring Phoenix is 1 man, 2 man, 3 man. So I'll be counting, but if you hear me going 1 man, 2 man, 3 man, and all the way up to 20, that's why. So we're going to reach all the way up, reach with your hands, reach with your chin, and then pulse with me. 1 man, 2 man, 3 man, 4 man, 5 man. Now we're going to reach down, touch our toes for a 10 count. 1 man, 2 man, 3 man, 4 man, 5 man, 6 man, 7 man, 8 man, 9 man, 10 man. We're going to reach back up. You can try counting along with me at home. Pulse with 15. 1 man, 2 man, 3 man, 4 man, 5 man, 6 man, 7 man, 8 man, 9 man, 10 man, 11 man, 12 man, 13 man, 14 man, 15 man. Last time, touching your toes, count of 20. 1 man, 2 man, 3 man, 4 man, 5 man, 6 man, 7 man, 8 man, 9 man, 10 man, 11 man, 12 man, 13 man, 14 man, 15 man, 16 man, 17 man, 18 man, 19 man, 20 man. Coming up slowly, rolling up the spine, chin is the last thing up. Okay, we've stretched up and down. Now we're going to stretch side to side. Your right hand will go on your left shoulder. Your left hand will go just behind your back. You're going to look over that left shoulder. And then as we come around to look over that right shoulder, the hands will switch. So now you've got your left hand on your right shoulder. And you're looking over that right shoulder. We'll switch. And switch. And switch. And switch. And switch. Last one, switch. Okay, so now we've stretched side to side, up and down. I want to throw a little bit more in there to kind of warm us up before we get into our Kung Fu. So you can keep your feet right where they are. We're going to bring the elbows in front of us. Elbow should be in line with the shoulder, shouldn't be down or too far up. It's almost like you were going to just sort of put your head down and take a nap. But this is Kung Fu. We don't do naps during Kung Fu. So I want you to have your elbows up, hands out, nice and active. And we're going to just pull back. So if you've ever been on a row machine, this should be pretty similar to do it. So you can do these along with me. We're not going really powerfully or really fast right now. We're just trying to activate those back muscles a little bit. And this is going to come in handy later on. So as you're doing this, you can switch which hand is on top. Exercise your mind a little bit. We'll do one more. And set. That was your warm-up and your stretch. We're going to get into our Kung Fu next. Okay, I want to make one quick note before we get into our Kung Fu side of it. And that is that punching is great and all these stances we're going to do are really fun, but if you're not practicing good safety and good control, then you're not doing it right. Safety and control are incredibly important here. If you're not in control, you're not practicing good discipline, and you're hurting somebody, including yourself, then that's not good. That's not what we want to be teaching here. So I want to make sure as you're learning this and as you're practicing it, it's so that you have good control. So if you're going too hard with your punches, slow it down, give it less power, and we'll talk about that a little bit more as we go on. So first I'm going to show you your basic punch, your Arrowfist, as we call it. I'll show you why. First I want to show you how to make a fist. You notice that I've got blue nails, and what I want you to do is put your hands out like you're doing a high 10, and then fold those fingers in, and then the thumb on top. Now, we're not going to keep it like this, we're going to straighten everything out, but if you were to just look at the underside, you would not see the blue nails, you would only see the thumbnail. That's how I want it to be. So then straighten everything out so that we've got one straight line from knuckles to elbow. Good bone alignment means we're going to be protecting our wrist when we hit. If your wrist is bent in either direction, you're going to injure it when you hit somebody. If your fingers are out like this, you're going to injure them when you hit somebody. Do not ever put the thumb under the fingers. That is very bad. So, just like Superman, our fist. We're going to bring our fists right by our hands. Your Arrowfist is called an Arrowfist because it spins. So if we start with our right hand down, you can put your right hand out right now. When we bring the left hand out, the two are going to spin, they're going to sort of face each other, and the left hand will spin into place. So just like an arrow as it flies through the air, they spin. And then we come over and we send our right fist out, and then our left again. And when we punch, when we do any kind of strike, we give a sound to it, and the sound is kia. 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 We're going to do 5 of these in a row. So 1, kip, 2, kip, 3, kip, 4, kip, 5, kip. Okay. And bring it back together. And next, we're going to teach you your horse stance. Your horse stance is a really basic stance. You're going to see it in pretty much every martial art that you might ever do, and a lot of martial arts movies that you see. We're going to have our feet together, take our nice fist, bring it up at our sides. We're going to go toes out, heels out, heels straight. And I want to sink it down. I want my feet straight, knees are bent out, they're not in like this. That's really bad for the knees, so it's not just that we want you to like look a certain way. We are actually protecting the knees by squeezing them out like this. And next, I want to make sure that your back is straight. So if you see from the side, it's almost like I could sit up against a wall and have a pretty straight back when I'm here. The lower you can go, the better. But mostly, the key facts that I want you to work on with your horse stance right now are that the feet are wider than the shoulders, the knees are bent and pressing out, the feet are flat, and that back is straight. If you're up here in a high horse stance, then that's awesome. If you're down here in a low horse stance, that's awesome too. As long as you're challenging yourself, that's the most important part of this. So that's your horse stance. Let's go through it one more time. Feet together, nice fists at our side, toes out, toes out, heels straight, sink it down, knees are bent out, back is up straight, and we're good. So from here, staying right here, we're going to practice our arrow fists again. So let's bring our right arrow fist out. Notice how it spins. We're just going to do 10 of these. 1, kip, 2, kip, 3, kip, 4, kip, 5, kip, 6, kip, 7, kip, 8, kip, 9, kip, 10, kip. All right, good job. We'll move on to our cat stance next. Okay, your cat stance is not at all the same as your horse stance. Your cat stance is really good for balance. While your horse stance is all about conditioning and strength and stillness, your cat stance is going to challenge your balance a little bit. So what we want to do is bring our feet together. Your right foot is going to go out like this, right toe, bend at the knees. Then this left foot is going to lift up and set down really lightly. I can just take my foot up and I have no problem. If I'm putting any weight on that and I try to pick my foot up, I fall forward, I lose my balance. So I want all the weight on this back foot, no weight on this front foot. Let's go through that one more time. Right toe turns out, Bend the knees, lift, and set that toe down. Now, if this isn't really difficult for your balance at all, go ahead and close your eyes. And if this isn't difficult for you at all, just raise that knee up and go into an actual balance stance. If this isn't difficult for you at all, bring the hands out and close your eyes again. And just practice that all the way up to there until you can do hands out, closed eyes for 60 seconds. And then we'll move on. I got more stuff for you guys there. Okay, so we do actually have a fist associated with this, another strike. With your horse stance, we did our arrow strike. With our cat stance, we're going to do back fist. So let's get back into our cat stance. Right foot turns out, knees bend, left foot is light, toes are light. Toes touching the ground, no weight in them. We're going to bring our right hand to our chest, just across our chest, and our left hand to our waist. We always want this to be nice and strong. We don't kind of just want it to be sitting there. We don't want to forget about it. We always want to practice good discipline with this. The back fist is just, basically it's a hinge. So what you want to see is this part of the arm is not really going to move, just this part. We're hitting a target right about here. So I don't want you to go like that, and I don't want you to go like this. I want just this nice, easy hinge motion. The target that we're hitting with the back of the hand. We're definitely not hitting with the wrist. If we have a different kind of fist that we're doing, whatever we're doing with this, we want to hit with the back of the hand. That's why it's called back fist. So let's get it back into our cat stance, and we will do some back fist. Toe out, bend the knees, lift up, set that foot down, left hand at your side, right hand on your chest. We'll do 10. 1, kyup, 2, kyup, 3, kyup, 4, kyup, 5, kyup, 6, kyup, 7, kyup, 8, kyup, 9, kyup, 10, kyup. Okay? Hopefully you're feeling a little bit of burn there, especially after we did our horse stance. Let's try our other side cat stance. We always want to do everything on both sides for good balance. Left toe turns out. Bend at the knees. That right foot comes up, sets down, still pretty light. I can lift it up without any kind of problem. And set. Another thing that we want to focus on, just like with our horse stance, we want to have good alignment here. So we want shoulder, hip, and ankle to be in line. What I really want you to focus on here, if shoulders are forward, we really want this low back to be over the hips. So if that's happening, then you're still in a pretty good position. Ideally, shoulders over the hips, over the ankle, but you know, if we're over a little bit, as long as that low back is over the hips, you're still doing pretty good. So let's get into that one more time. Left toe out. Bend those knees. Right foot is high and light. Comes down, no weight on that front foot. Left hand up the chest. Right hand at the waist. Good fist, nice and strong. That same hinge motion, the upper arm doesn't move, the lower arm does. Another 10. 1, kyup, 2, kyup, 3, kyup, 4, kyup, 5, kyup, 6, kyup, 7, kyup, 8, kyup, 9, kyup, 10, kyup. Alright, that's your cat stance. We'll move on to our next strike, which is our elbow strikes. Okay, your elbow strike is going to bring out a stance you've already learned, which is that horse stance. Feet together, arms in your good fists at your side, toes out, heels straight. Again, it doesn't matter if you're up here or you're down here. If you're challenging yourself, you're feeling that burn, you're feeling that strength in those legs, you're doing it right. So we're going to sit down here. Your elbow strike's going to look pretty familiar. We did it during your warm-up. I want you to bring your arms out here like you're taking a nap, but we're not taking a nap because we're doing kung fu. Bring your arms out here. Good fists. Just keep them in a fist, and just bring those elbows back. This isn't quite the same as our warm-up. So in our warm-up, we did a nice, easy rowing motion, like if you've been on a row machine that does this, to activate those back muscles. Now we're doing a strike. This is an elbow strike at something behind us. So somebody's come up behind us and maybe tried to grab us and we're striking at the ribs. Somebody's holding a pillow or a pad for us to strike and practice. The point is, for these, you want to come around and you want to make sure you go behind. But you keep the arm up. So if we're going behind, we don't want to see a drop in the wrist. We want to make sure wrist, elbow, and shoulder are all in the same line. So it'll be hands across and strike. Hands across and strike. One more time. Strike. Let's do 10 of these together. Good horse stance. Check your horse stance while we're here. 1, hip. 2, hip. 3, hip. 4, hip. 5, hip. Want to make one quick modification? As you can see when I'm doing this, I look over my shoulder when I'm hitting, and that's because I'm imagining where my opponent is. One thing that we want to practice, especially to be safe, is always looking where we're striking. Never ever strike at something if you're not looking at it, if you can't see it. Because then you don't know if there's a partner that you're working with behind you, maybe something that's breakable, or if you are using these things in a self-defense situation, maybe you're trying to strike at something, but it's the wrong target and it's not really going to do anything for you. So always look at what you're striking at. Let's do 5 more. 6, 7, 8, hip. 9, hip. 10, hip. Okay, that was your elbow strikes. Before we get into our iron body set, I'm going to show you a little bit about how to challenge yourself a little more if any of these were too easy for you. Okay, so how can we challenge ourselves even more? Martial artists are always trying to challenge themselves. This video is kind of designed to be something you can do in your own home during physical distancing. It's something that can be done in a pretty small space, and it's something that can be done seated. Most of it can be done seated or standing. If you have items at home, like soup cans or bean cans or weights or a resistance band, feel free to add those in. Resistance band is great for any of your stretches, any of your pull, pushing motion. You can add a lot of resistance to that. Cans are good for adding weight, especially bringing something away from your body. Helps work out all of these muscles along the line. You're all athletes, you know this already. I'm sure you have tools and strategies at home. One martial application that you can do to make things a little bit more challenging for you is to play around with the speed and power and then the stance that you're actually working with. So a really easy way, if we go into our horse stance, really easy way to challenge ourselves with our horse stance is to just get low. We don't want our hips to be below our knees, but basically we want to get as low as we can, and then hip, hip, hip. Just practice that. If it's too easy for you up here, sink down. If you're in like this, sink down or make your stance wider. Same exact thing for our cat stance. We turn that toe out, we bend the knees, front leg is light, you get lower. That's a way to make your stances more difficult. How do I make your punches more difficult? With all of our strikes, we have something called speed and power. Speed is pretty self-explanatory. It's the speed at which you strike. 1, 2, as opposed to 1, 2. Power is the amount of strength and force put into it. So you can play around with how much power you're using by pretending that there's something pressing back on you. So if I'm going like punching forward, and it's pretty easy for me, there's nothing in the way, and I wanted to add extra power to it, I might imagine that there's something in the way, making it harder for me to punch. We kind of have to use our imaginations with this one. So you just tense everything up really hard, you bring that left hand out, you just pretend you're really pushing really hard, punch. And then come back in, and everything's really tense, really tense, really tense, really tense, really tense, release. Lots of power, lots of power, lots of power, punch. You can do that exactly the same thing for your back fist. We'll go into our good cat stance. Just pretend there's something holding you back. And if it helps, for a lot of these you can actually do that. For your back fist, you can literally hold on. and pull yourself in. Push against that hand. Again, if you've got that resistance band, you can add in the extra resistance, which forces you to add more power to it. So that's a couple ways you can make those more difficult if you're training and you find them that it's a little too easy for you right now. Let's move into our iron body section. Alright, your iron body set is going to use a lot of what we just learned. Iron body is one of the forms that we learn. The style that we teach at Soaring Phoenix is hung gar, tiger crane, or tiger crane hung gar. And the form within that I'm going to teach you today is iron body. Specifically, I'm going to teach you the first 3 movements of iron body. So this is going to be really familiar as we go in our good fist, our ready stance. Toes out, heels straight, good horse stance. This first move is not something that you've learned so far. It's a double uppercut. All of our moves have some poetry associated with them. So this one is called raise, sun, and moon. So we raise, sun, and moon. For this, we're actually going to go out, not up, not straight out, up at an angle. Raise, sun, and moon. Practice that with me a couple times. Raise, sun, and moon. Raise, sun, and moon. So we can raise it up, and we got sun and moon. Next one is going to look really familiar. Vulture cools its wings. Let's do this together. Raise, sun, and moon. Vulture cools its wings. One more time. Raise, sun, and moon. Vulture cools its wings. Check your horse stance. Make sure you're challenging yourself. Very last one. Raise, sun, and moon. Vulture cools its wings. We're going to go down. Plant flowers in the sand. Just like you've got a bed of soil and you're just patting it down. We go vulture cools its wings. Plant flowers in the sand. Let's do all 3 of them a couple times. Raise, sun, and moon. Vulture cools its wings. Plant flowers in the sand. One more time. Raise, sun, and moon. Vulture cools its wings. Plant flowers in the sand. Alright, practice that on your own. This video is available for you to reference anytime. I'm Head Instructor Goodsell of Soaring Phoenix Kung Fu. You learned a little bit of iron body today. Now go train.